TikTok is an app that's mostly just for silly memes or videos in short format. It's got nearly 1 billion active users worldwide, making it more popular than Twitter, and has been downloaded 2 billion times on the App Store and Google Play. So it's no understatement that it's taking the world by storm. As an app, it's pretty similar to what Vine used to be. So on the surface, while many criticize it as being annoying and curating immaturity perhaps, it seems pretty harmless. But underneath the surface, there's something else going on. On June 29th, India banned TikTok countrywide, and now the United States has plans to ban the app as well. So what's the problem? TikTok has been caught censoring disabilities, Black Lives Matter content, LGBTQ+ content, ugly or undesirable people, whatever that means, and punishing and making examples of anyone who attempts to voice frustrations about the millions of people in slave labor concentration camps in China simply for their ethnicity or religion, the treatment of whom qualifies as genocide by United Nations definitions. TikTok has also been caught promoting highly sexualized videos of underage girls. Not only is it a morally reprehensible thing to do to those people to be censoring their existence, but it's also the case that 41% of TikTok users are aged between 16 and 24. If this were to continue, then young people who may be impressionable may start thinking that not only is this an accurate representation of the world, but they may also think that the world should be like this. And as much as we like to think of ourselves as critical thinkers, propaganda works. It's been proven many times throughout history. So honestly, whether you're young or not, it's still an issue. Public perception and opinion can absolutely be manipulated through selective censorship of content so as to benefit the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, the ruling one-party dictatorship of China. But why would they be working so hard on behalf of the CCP? TikTok is owned and operated by ByteDance, a Chinese company. Unlike in modern liberal democracies such as the US, Canada, the UK, Germany, and others, in China, all companies are indistinguishable from government due to the level of control the dictatorship is able to exercise. For example, they are legally obligated to hand data over to the Chinese government at any time for any reason, and they can be compelled to take action on behalf of the Chinese government. And the Chinese government does not have a good track record with this sort of thing. In 2010, Google shut down their operations in China after they caught Chinese government hackers attempting to gain access to human rights activists' Gmail accounts. Simply put, there's no difference between a Chinese company and the Chinese government. TikTok sends your data and your children's data to the Chinese government for analysis. Locations, ages, private messages, phone numbers, contacts, genders, browsing history, cell phone serial numbers, IP addresses, and more. And while it's true that it's become frighteningly commonplace for big tech to violate our privacy in this day and age, TikTok stands out from the crowd. It's to the point where TikTok has already had to pay millions of dollars in FTC fines for violating children's privacy rights. But for TikTok, that may just be the cost of business. In January 2019, an investigation by the American think tank Peterson Institute for International Economics described TikTok as a Huawei-sized problem that posed a national security threat to the West, noting its alleged ability to convey location, image, and biometric data. In February, Reddit CEO Steve Huffman criticized the app as spyware, stating, "I look at the app as so fundamentally parasitic that it's always listening. The fingerprinting technology they use is truly terrifying, and I cannot bring myself to install an app like that on my phone." Even US military branches have blocked access to TikTok due to Pentagon warnings. And as recently as May 2020, the Dutch Data Protection Authority announced an investigation into TikTok in relation to privacy protections for children. For TikTok, the privacy concerns seem to never end. And it's probably safe to say that we've all fallen into the habit of dismissing privacy concerns as not that big of a deal, as we've chosen to value convenience much more highly. But I think it's important to recognize that what the CCP can do with your data is completely incomparable to what other big tech do. They may manipulate you to buy more of their product, but CCP China uses it to interfere in politics, cause social unrest, and affect our very perception of reality. CCP China has been caught many times literally rewriting history. The data they collect on you and on your children could absolutely be used to help them design the most effective manipulations. And TikTok terms of service even specifically mentions it can sell your keystrokes even when the app isn't running, which has led to it being criticized as a keylogger, which can steal your passwords. So the bottom line is, and this is my personal opinion, that based on this data, TikTok seems to be a major threat as primarily a propaganda piece to normalize supporting this dictatorship and the genocide it's committing. I've seen this kind of thing firsthand personally after what happened with Blizzard. I've talked to a lot of different people who were involved in scenes which had been affected by the CCP via conflicts of interest, and watched as many people came up with ways to excuse it and to come up with ways to say what the CCP were doing was justifiable. It was wrong, but the way the world works or something like that. Personally, I see a future where if TikTok is not banned, if dependency on Chinese-made products is not reduced, I see a future where that is more and more commonplace, which would result in less action against the CCP to prevent things like this current genocide happening against millions of people simply for their Uyghur ethnicity. And to anyone who's a content creator or who feels that the banning of TikTok is harming them, I empathize with you. I understand where you're coming from. The problem is the world is just messy, and there's some awful stuff happening here. If only there was some way that TikTok could be separated from its company and from the CCP, then I wish it could exist in that way to benefit you. But until then, the harm it causes far outweighs the benefit it provides. It's a step in the right direction that the world is distancing itself more from CCP China, and hopefully that trend can continue. Now, all this being said, there's of course the slippery slope concern of banning an entire social media app so easily that many people have brought up. There's been concern that this power may be used for partisan reasons, causing social media to have to self-censor for the US government so as to align with supporting one party. Now, this sounds pretty dystopian, but I do agree it's a possible issue, so there should be a policy set so that this can't happen. Although many people have argued that the First Amendment would protect against that anyway. But either way, as it currently stands, the bans on TikTok, Tencent, and WeChat are very clearly defenses against CCP China rather than any internal partisan action. So I hope we can rise above the urge to degrade to tribalism, where every Democrat sees everything a Republican does as evil and every Republican sees everything a Democrat does as evil. I think that's just such a waste of time. I think it's very important to be able to see issues as they are and put country above party and humanity above country. But that's just my opinion. If you got something out of this video, consider supporting future ones like it on Patreon. YouTube aggressively demonetizes and punishes creators such as myself who make videos that it deems controversial. If you're experiencing financial troubles, then please do not donate. Take care of yourself first. Thanks for watching and take care.